Hi everyone, Dr. Christine Rooke here, and I've been preparing some great information for you. One of the Facts Friday questions pertained to inflammation in your body. There was a follow-up question regarding how to eliminate inflammation through natural ways like diet and exercise. This is such an exciting topic because what we eat plays such an important role in our body's health. A diet high in pro-inflammatory foods can lead a person down the path of many chronic diseases and illnesses. Having a disease or illness is one thing, but constantly feeling the effects of that disease or illness is another. Examples of this include, but are definitely not limited to, fibromyalgia, diabetes, and congestive heart failure. Because this topic is incredibly important, I wanted to spend time educating you on how foods affect your body's inflammation levels. So, I'd like to welcome you to the first Food and Inflammation series. To begin this series, I'm not going to focus on what you should eat. I'll save the shoulds for later. I'm going to discuss the things that you may currently be eating and how it affects inflammation in your body. Sometimes just eliminating things that trigger an inflammatory response can make you feel amazing. And it may just put a little extra more cash in your pocket. So, without further ado, let's get started. By now, you know that food can lead to inflammation within your body. Maybe you've experienced this if you are lactose intolerant or if you've had a gluten allergy. If you have ever had a hangover from drinking too much alcohol, you have certainly experienced this. Certain foods and beverages that we eat can elicit an inflammatory response within our body. And this response can be in the form of nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, to maybe more achy joints, low-grade fever, fatigue, and just an overall feeling of blah, right? So the standard American diet, also known as the SAD diet, is a major contributor to inflammation within the human body. And the SAD diet has most Americans exceeding the recommendations for added sugars, saturated fats, and sodium. About 3/4 of Americans do not get enough fruits, vegetables, and fatty or healthy oils and unprocessed grains in their diet. Does this resonate with you? Foods that contain sugar and high fructose corn syrup, saturated fats, trans fats, omega-6 fatty acids, refined carbohydrates, gluten, aspartame, and alcohol all lead to inflammation within the body. Eliminating foods containing these things will help improve inflammation within your body. So, this vlog is going to focus specifically on the sweeties: sugar, high fructose corn syrup, aspartame, and refined carbohydrates. So first up is sugar. Sugar is harmful to the body for numerous reasons. I think I've already talked about so many of the chronic diseases that can be caused by sugars, but just to reiterate a few, it increases inflammation that can cause chronic illnesses such as diabetes and heart disease. Cancers feed on sugar, and in fact, some cancer cells consume 200 times more sugar than your normal body cells. Excess sugar in your diet also leads to obesity, fatty liver disease, and chronic kidney disease, just to name a few more. Sugar targets omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids are a known inflammation reducer. So if sugar targets that, it's going to counter their anti-inflammatory effects. So why does sugar do this? Well, there are many reasons. And if you've watched the first vlog I did on inflammation, then you may recall my Freddy Krueger reference about how sugar just scratches up the blood vessels over time and stimulates the inflammatory response. Another reason is that sugar increases fatty acids in the liver, which produce free fatty acid metabolites that trigger an inflammatory response. So let's shift gears now for a moment and take a look at where sugar comes from. The chemical name for sugar is sucrose. Sucrose is made up of two molecules, glucose and fructose, right? So sucrose occurs naturally in plants and is the reason that fruits and vegetables taste sweet. Manufacturers extract that sucrose from beets and sugarcane, other fruits as well, but those are the main fruits that they extract from, and they refine it to make refined sugar, such as table sugar or granulated sugar, as you may know. Now you know the skinny on sugar. What about high fructose corn syrup? Besides just sounding gross, this is another highly processed sweetener derived from cornstarch. This starch is processed into glucose and then processed even more to increase the fructose content. Manufacturers like using it because it is more cost effective more cost effective than sugar. And don't they enjoy putting a little extra cash in their pocket? We've already talked about how sugar causes inflammation, and high fructose corn syrup does just the same. It increases your risk of fatty liver disease, obesity, visceral fat. That's a new one. Visceral fat is the harmful fat that surrounds your organs. It also, high fructose corn syrup also causes diabetes, and it provides no nutritional value at all. So hands down, added sugars and high fructose corn syrup containing products are the leading foods that I'd recommend eliminating from your diet first in order to decrease inflammation. With that said, you may now turn to artificial sweeteners, right? Everyone likes sweet. So, while the FDA has approved the use of artificial sweeteners, it's mainly because they weren't linked to cancers. Artificial sweeteners are not good for you. Studies have shown that their consumption increases your caloric intake, leading to diabetes, obesity, metabolic syndrome, and heart disease, just like I've mentioned so many times before already. People subconsciously, or maybe even consciously, use artificial sweeteners to negotiate eating other things. An example of this could be if I drink a Diet Coke instead of a regular Coke. Then I can still eat XYZ because I would have saved calories or not consumed as much sugar, right? However, you must understand that artificial sweeteners are just that. They are artificial. So let's use aspartame for an example to see how it affects your body and causes inflammation. Your body breaks aspartame down into methanol. This is a toxic in large quantities. Smaller amounts of methanol or aspartame combined with free methanol causes enhanced absorption. Free methanol is found in some foods and created when you heat aspartame. So now you may be thinking that this is maybe all just a bit over your head, right? So let me simplify it for you. Free methanol breaks down into formaldehyde, which is a known carcinogen and neurotoxin in the body. Formaldehyde is also used to embalm dead people. Is that really something that you want to put in your living body? Your body's immune system will kick into fight if this carcinogen, it'll kick in to fight off this carcinogen and neurotoxin, which triggers an inflammatory response. And therefore, consuming aspartame and other artificial sweeteners on a regular basis can lead to chronic inflammation within your body. Finally, let's talk about refined carbohydrates or carbs. What are refined carbohydrates and why are they bad for you, right? A refined carbohydrate is a carbohydrate that has been heavily processed and it's been stripped of all of its nutrients and rendered as basically empty calories. Your body breaks it down as it breaks down the carbohydrate as it would a sugar, and it offers no nutritional value. Examples of refined carbohydrates include white things like white bread and white flour and white sugar and white potatoes and white rice, white popcorn, right? You can find these things in bagels and pastries and breakfast cereals and pizza and flavored yogurts and soda and fruit juice and condiments. The list just goes on. Everything that's heavily processed. Review the ingredients on processed food labels. If you're looking at it and it says anything about syrup or molasses, sweeteners, fructose, sucrose, maltose, or dextrose, then I'd recommend putting it back. Now, you have an idea kind of what a refined carbohydrate is. So why does it cause inflammation in your body? It's because refined carbohydrates are ranked high on the glycemic index and significantly raise your blood sugar levels. We've already discussed the major health concerns with sugar and inflammation, and we've already discussed kind of how the process is in your body, so all the chronic diseases that it causes. Well, refined carbohydrates are just as bad as sugar. So I hope that this blog helps you understand how added sugars and syrups, high fructose corn syrup, artificial sweeteners, and refined carbohydrates increase inflammation in your body and lead to chronic diseases and illness. If you like the vlog, please click the like and subscribe buttons below. Since my content is always evidence-based, the description below has references supporting the content in this vlog. As always, I look forward to answering your health-related questions, so keep them coming.